All right, guys, this is now the 5th film in this MonsterVerse series. Where does it rank amongst the rest? Let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire movie review. And if this is your first time finding me, and you happen to like this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire. We are here, baby. We are here. I don't want to over exaggerate and just say that I was like really super duper excited to see this film, but I did want to see it. I was interested, especially when the trailer dropped and we saw Kong with the power glove on his fist. That did look badass, and I was just ready to see these monsters clash. Now, this film is being directed by Mr. Adam Wingard. This is what the gentleman looks like right here. If we scroll down and look at that filmography, he did also direct the last film in this series, Godzilla vs. Kong, and that was pretty good. It was entertaining. He also did The Guest, VHS, and also Death Note and Blair Witch. If you've seen any of the other films, please let me know down in the comment section below. But like I said, my expectation, I want to say, we can just say it's in the middle. It was mediocre. I was excited to see it, but I wasn't over the moon, even if I wasn't blessed by Warner Brothers. Thank you very much for letting me see this film early. I still would have saw it eventually, but I don't know if I would have rushed to see it in theaters as soon as possible. I did like all of the previous films. I will say right now that my least favorite was Godzilla and the Monsters and the first Godzilla 2014. But Godzilla vs. Kong and Kong Skull Island and this film right here, well, I'm not going to say this film right here, but those last two, those were my favorite in this franchise so far. But to be honest with you, even though I wanted to see it and my expectations were mediocre, I still just didn't think it was going to be that good. I was just not taking it too seriously. And I think that's the point. I'm not going to compare this movie to Godzilla -1, which was fantastic. That came out either earlier, no, last year. That film was amazing, but I'm not going to compare those two. I just wanted to see if these monsters are going to beat each other's ass, and I'm going to tell you now if we got that. But before I do, before I get into all the nitty gritty, let me exactly tell you what this film is all about. The new installment in the MonsterVerse puts the mighty Kong and the fearsome Godzilla against a colossal deadly threat hidden within our world that threatens the existence of their species and our very own, as well as diving deep into the mysteries of Skull Island and beyond. Delving straight into the origins of Hollow Earth, this film will explore the ancient Titan battle that brought man and monster together forever. All right, guys, the first thing that I want to talk about that I really did like about this film is it is super fun. I had a ton of fun with this movie. It is very, very entertaining. I can go ahead and admit right now that I will be buying this film on 4K Blu-ray because it's just that good. I'll talk about towards the end where it ranks amongst the other films in this MonsterVerse, but I got everything I wanted in this film, again, with my expectations being mediocre. Also, another reason why I will be buying this on 4K is because the entire thing was shot with the IMAX ratio 190:1. So if you are able to attend this film with a full 70mm IMAX or 65mm IMAX screen, go ahead and buy those tickets. Go ahead and reserve those seats. Get your popcorn, get your candy, get your hot dog, get your drinks, get your Slurpee, all that good stuff. Take the family. Y'all will have a great time. It is worth spending the money on, real talk. This is now a comfort movie for me. I can easily see myself always playing this movie in the background by myself, whether I have friends or family over, or if I just want something in the background to fall asleep on. I don't think that people really change the channel anymore that much when they're watching TV. But back in the day, a number of years ago, when you're just flipping through the channel and a certain movie or a certain show will come on, you'd be like, oh, okay, let me just watch this for the duration, no matter where it is in the film or television show. This Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire, is added to that list because I just had that much fun with it. The film does not take itself too seriously, and that's a good thing. And it's like the director or everybody involved in this film just said, F it. This is the 5th film in this franchise. Fans and critics have been complaining about the human characters. Let's just have these monsters fight. And they did just that. And when it comes to the fighting, which of course, one of the main things we want to go see in this film, it is pulled off very, very well. There was one fight towards the end where I was like, okay, this is a silly fight right here. You guys don't need to be beating each other up. You need to save your energy until you get to the good fight. But at the same time, these are giant monsters, and I'm not expecting them to be some genius Einstein. I mean, they're territorial. They're going to beef. At least one of them had some sense, but it doesn't last too long. So I guess that's like a little nitpick right there. But as far as the monsters are concerned in this film, they are vast. It is not just the Skull King. It is not just Godzilla. It is not just King Kong. And I feel like I got one of those monsters' names wrong. There are other monsters that pop up in this film, and the designs behind all of them was something to see. They are very different. They are not the same. All of them have different powers, abilities, maneuvers, and each time another one pops up, you get something fresh and new to look at. And it's like, wow, how do their mechanics work? How are they able to maneuver around? How are they able to live and attack and block? And it does create good competition between all of the monsters. Some are big, some are large, some are on land, some are in the sea, some are in the air. They give you a little bit of everything. And again, that just gives me everything I wanted when I was getting ready to see this film. When it comes to the characters, I really did like them too. They also was quite funny. 2 of my favorite characters were Brian Tyree Henry. I did like him. And also Dan Stevens, this gentleman right here. I don't know what was up with this guy, but I liked him. I just was saying to myself, he seems like somebody that I would want to be around if I'm going on some incursion, if I'm going on some adventure. I would want him to be around because he has a great attitude. He is confident. He's funny. He just knows what he's doing and stays in his lane. And I like being around people like that. When it comes to Brian Tyree Henry, I'm a big fan of this man's work. He first popped up on the scene for me in Atlanta, which was the FX series, which is no longer. They had their season finale for the show a number of years ago. And I still want to check out everything that this man has to do on screen and television. There's another FX show where he's like an FBI agent, and I haven't seen that. I do want to see it. I'll have to go back and visit it. To be honest with you, his character did get on my nerve initially in this movie within the first maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I would have said to myself, bro, relax, calm your ass down. It is not that serious, okay? Just chill out, take a chill pill, drink a bottle of water. Everything is going to be okay. But after 15, 20 minutes, his character did grow on me. I found myself experiencing everything that he was. I was enjoying the film through his lens majority of the time. Even though he's super duper smart, I also like that he was very, very cautious. Like, okay, hey, even though this is intriguing and we're all scientists, we all have PhDs and we're all experts in our field, we can't just be diving head first, blindfolded like some morons. So I liked his approach to everything and also his reactions when he did get to Hollow Earth or whatever he was going on. And as far as where he's going on an adventure. He's not the only character. There are a number of characters that are going on this adventure. And at certain points, I wanted to jump in the screen and go on an adventure with them as well to know more about Hollow Earth. I was very excited, but hesitant about it too, because you don't want to be eaten by some weird creature or some tree or plant that's bigger than you. That's quite scary. But at the same time, I really did enjoy the exploration aspect in this film. In the last film, Godzilla vs. Kong, we got brief glimpses of Hollow Earth, but you got to think about it. Earth is freaking huge, okay? We have 7 to 8 billion people on this planet, so much wildlife, but on the inside, of course, it's not going to be as big on the outside, but on the inside, it's going to be pretty big too. And like I said, the past films, it was very brief, but you really feel like they expanded the world and Hollow Earth. And the visuals, the imagery, the cinematography was magnificent for majority of the time. There were some points early on in the film where they weren't in Hollow Earth, where it didn't just come through as crisp and clear as I actually wanted it to. But when they got to Hollow Earth with all the bright images and vivid colors and things of that nature, no pun intended, I really did like it, especially the contrast between Kong and the baby Kong. Kong is blackish gray, while the baby Kong was a dark orangish brown. And when those two characters were on screen together, like I said, I really do like the contrast, and I like the dynamic in their relationship as well. The baby Kong was a bit skeptical at first, but at the same time, he realized that this is a king. This is King Kong, pun intended at that time, and I have to show my respect. And so these aren't just monsters going around like all over the place. They do have some level of intelligence to them, and you was able to see all of that, especially through their facial expressions, which also gave a bunch of detail to the film as well. But stepping outside of Hollow Earth, when you get to the rest of the human civilization, I do like the world building, or again, the expansion of it, because everybody around the globe, around the world, whether you're big, small, whatever, is used to this type of life now. They are used to the monsters, not just Godzilla and Kong, but monsters all over the world. And they have just accepted it. Now, I'm not saying like they're just going to go and just pet them like they're innocent or something like that, but it's like, oh, another monster. They're still afraid of it and gives it its level of respect, but it's just a part of life that they've accepted. And it's just like, oh my, it's not anything like that. And so I liked everybody's reaction around the world that this is just the way that they live now. There's nothing that they can do about it. And there's still so much to learn as well. I mean, these monsters are established. Technology has been advanced. Hollow Earth has been explored. But again, there is still so much to learn. And through certain characters in this film, the exposition is smooth and not as forced as you may think. But that's where we get to learn everything that has happened in the past few years between films, so we get to know more as an audience member, and I like that too. But I said earlier, the main thing that people are wanting to see when they show up for this film is see the monsters fight, and there are a ton of fights in this movie. In my opinion, it is impossible to get bored with this film unless this is just really not your cup of tea and you was pulled or dragged or forced to go see this film. But at one point where things were revving up, at the beginning of the third act, when the music dropped, when that bass hit, there was a dude in front of me in his chair that started dancing, hopping around in his seat. I am not lying to you guys. I'm telling you the truth. And I was feeling him too, because I was hype as well. That's just how entertaining this movie was. He was just like really like, yeah, let's get it, you know? And he wasn't just like on beat, and I really wasn't either right there. But I was feeding off of his energy. The movie is just that fun, and I want to see it again. I would not mind even going to go see this film by myself in theaters. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's perfect and it's the best thing ever in life, but the movie is fun, and I had a real good time. But those are the things that I really like about the film. Now, let me transition to some things that could have been a bit better. Some of the decisions that a character or two made wasn't the smartest, but you know, I'm just saying to myself, okay, this is just really irresponsible. Are you thinking through this? I don't think so at all. But at the same time, I just didn't care either, because I was just having so much fun. Another thing is the story really just didn't add up at times and really just didn't make sense. They were really rushed through certain plot points. And I was saying to myself, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Y'all need to explain that more. But again, I really just didn't care. And also, there was just an aspect or two that was just super duper convenient. They wrote it well and it flowed, but I'm just like, really, what are the chances that this right here is just available to come save the day? But they was able to make it work, but I just didn't care, guys. I had fun with this movie. I had a blast. And like I said, for the third or fourth time, I'm willing to see it again, and I will be buying this on Blu-ray 4K. Now, as far as my ranking is concerned for this film, I will possibly put Godzilla, King of the Monsters at number 5. I'll put Godzilla that came out in 2014 at number 4. Then I'll probably put Godzilla vs. Kong at number 3. Oh man. And then I'll probably put, this is hard, either this one or Kong Skull Island, because I really did enjoy Kong Skull Island. I'll put this film at number 2. Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire at number 2, and Kong Skull Island at number 1. The reason why is the story made more sense in Kong Skull Island. It was a more cohesive, coherent film that didn't rush through some of the story and plot points. They kind of did that with Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, but I got what I wanted. It was a ton of fun, and hopefully we can still get some other sequel, because I just don't want them to stop right now with the way that this film turned out. I will go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, guys, but for now, that is just my opinion. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give me that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, helping me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. And if I had to rate Godzilla X Kong out of a 1 out of 10, I give it a 7 out of 10. Yes, a 7 out of 10. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.